What's up, bookie crushers? Today I've got 7 MLB picks to share with you, including another 5-star play. So stick around to view those predictions. Now let's review yesterday's action. I shared 5 picks with you and they posted a 3-2 record. And the 5-star play yesterday was the Cincinnati Reds money line. So a person risking $100 per play earned a profit of $60 yesterday. So that equates to a win of 0.6 units. Alright, and in case you are wondering, what was the famous lobster bet yesterday, which is the best wager across all sports every single day? Well, the answer is, it was the Detroit Tigers to win straight up against the Pirates. This is the first time that I've taken a team with relatively low odds, but I had to take it because the Tigers fit under the money-making scoring drought betting system that has now posted a fantastic 21-3 record this season. So that means that since I started offering the lobster bet, we have accumulated 44 wins versus 12 losses, so we keep demolishing the bookies. Alright, let's move on to today's action. And my first free play in Major League Baseball concerns the Boston versus Seattle game. And in this match, I am betting the Seattle Mariners money line. They are viewed as slight underdogs in this match. This is not one of my favorite plays of the day. It is rated 2 stars out of 5. So again, remember that all picks that I present in my YouTube videos are worth betting in my humble opinion. And then when I take into account all of those picks, I grade them from 1 to 5 stars. So even a play rated 1 star, it doesn't mean it's a crappy pick. It just means that it holds a slightly positive expected value. Alright, so in this case, of course, the big news out of Boston revolves around Rafael Devers. He has gone to San Francisco. Some would argue that he had a disrupting influence, but one fact remains: he leaves a big void in the batting lineup. And yesterday, Boston played like a team going through an upheaval. They were smashed by the sliding Mariners. That's a very bad sign. Seattle has won just 5 of its last 14 games, but they might have turned the corner after winning 4 of their last 5 contests overall. And yesterday's demolition should carry some momentum for the Mariners. Moreover, one more reason why I like the Mariners in this spot is the fact that they fit under a betting system called the snapped winning streak, which was responsible for one of my picks yesterday. So it basically recommends to bet against the road team if they lost their previous game after winning at least 5 in a row. Now, if you take a look at the Boston Red Sox schedule, as you can see on your screen, they picked up 6 straight victories before losing yesterday 8-0. And since today they are the visiting club, then by following the rules, we must fade the Red Sox. And that's why I'm taking the Mariners. I'm aware that facing Garrison Crochet is tough, but Luis Castillo can also deliver strong performances. And especially at home. That's especially true at home because since 2023, Castillo's home ERA is 2.98 versus 4.02 on the road. So for these reasons, I'm going to side with the home underdog, the Mariners. Up next, I would like to make a pick on the Minnesota-Cincinnati game. Yesterday, I shared a 5-star premium play on the Reds because I felt like the line made no sense whatsoever. I told you how Cincinnati's money line was around -110, whereas I felt it should be around -140, -145. So we ended up winning this game by a 6-5 score, so this was a tight victory. Now this time I will go against the grain by taking the Twins, So I'm going to take a reeling Minnesota club and a reeling Bailey Ober. I feel like they're going to surprise everyone with a good performance. Well, Ober was super strong in each of the past 3 seasons. Let's take a look at his whip statistics from the past 3 years. 1.05, 1.07, and 1.00. That's a lot better than the league average of 1.30. When you are around 1.0, that's great. So there's no reason to believe that he should suddenly become an average hurler. To me, he's eventually going to get back to top form, and I think it could start today. I'm going to trust this guy. And meanwhile, he's going to face Nick Lodolo, who is coming off his worst performance of the season, so his confidence level should be low. In his prior start, he gave up 3 earned runs, including a couple of long balls. Now, Lodolo has been historically bad at home. His home ERA since 2023 is 6.50. Can you believe that? 6.50 ERA at home since 2023 versus 2.94 on the road. That's a huge difference. And unfortunately for him, he's pitching at home today. So, for this reason, not only am I backing the Twins money line, but I also have a 5-star play on a player proposition bet. And here it comes. Byron Buxton over half a run scored. In other words, I am banking on the fact that Buxton will cross home plate at least once today. As you can see on your screen, the best current odds are minus 125, which is available with Bally, BetRivers, Unibet, Leo Vegas. But some bookies have a line that's much worse. It could go as low as minus 150, minus 160, depending on your bookie. So as always, lines on prop bets tend to vary a lot more across the different sports books. So if you had made this bet in every single game that Buxton has played, you would have recorded 29 wins versus 26 losses. Now, he is the leadoff hitter, so he's obviously in a great position to score a run. And like I said, I don't think the market takes into account the fact that Lodolo struggles a lot at home. So this is the best player prop bet that I have found to exploit this piece of information. So there you go, you've got my first 3 picks for today. Up next, let's talk about Baltimore against Tampa Bay. Now, yesterday, I did not understand why the Reds were not bigger favorites. Well, I'm going to ask the very same question today regarding the Tampa Bay Rays. Well, the Rays own a much better record than the Orioles. They own a better run differential. They are at home, and they hold the pitching advantage today. So why the heck is the line on the Rays minus 110 or 1.91 in decimal? Again, in my opinion, it should be closer to minus 140 or even minus 150. I'm really baffled by this betting line, so for this reason, I am all over the Tampa Bay money line. So, of course, Taj Bradley is a middle-of-the-pack starter. His whip stat this year is 1.28, and it was 1.22 last season. So, he's doing a respectable job. He is often close to the league average in terms of the whip stat. Now, on the other side, we have Trevor Rogers, who will take the mound for the Orioles. Sure, he dazzled in his lone start of the 2025 season, but that is far from convincing me that he is great, okay? It doesn't get me excited at all. Last year, he was very bad. He posted a 1.58 whip stat. In 2023, he only pitched 18 innings, and if you go back to 2022, his whip stat was 1.50, which was again abysmal. And also, he has not fared well in AAA this year. In 7 starts, he owned an 0-3 record, along with a poor 5.45 ERA. So why should we trust him to be any better than Taj Bradley, and why the heck are the Rays not bigger favorites than this? Again, I don't know the answer, but one thing is for sure, I'm going to place a bet on Tampa Bay's money line. I fully disagree with the line set by oddsmakers today. Now let me know in the comments what you think about this, about my opinion on this game. You could disagree and that's okay. No problem reading your comments, even if you disagree with my picks, as long as you remain respectful, of course. So this is my fourth pick of the day. All right, my fifth selection is supported by a betting system called the Blowout Number 1. Here are its rules. Bet a team that won its previous game by a margin of at least 8 runs if they are facing the same opponent today. Now, according to these rules, can you guess which team is supported by this system? That's right, the St. Louis Cardinals, who demolished the White Sox 12-2 yesterday. So it's really hard to go against St. Louis today for many reasons. Well, first of all, the pitching duel favors us by a good margin. Sonny Gray will head to the mound, and he's been a reliable force for St. Louis. He's been very consistent across the years, and his 2025 numbers are in line with his career numbers, so it does not appear to be slowing down. Alright, so his career ERA is 3.52, and this is where his ERA sits at right now in 2025. Now the White Sox have a weak offense, so I think he will get through this lineup pretty easily. He could dominate the White Sox and finish with a solid stat line. Now Sean Burke will get the nod for the White Sox. He's attempting to forge a career in the big leagues, but it's not going so well. He showed good signs last year, but he's not doing so well this season. He has struggled with a 4.71 ERA and also an erratic 1.44 whip stat. I agree that he has some talent, but he's not there yet. I think the Cards will cruise, and I'm even tempted to go with the -1.5 run line at odds that are between -115 and -105. If you are more familiar with decimal odds, we're talking about a range between 1.87 and 1.95, by the way. So that's my fifth selection of the day, the Cardinals money line. And now with my sixth pick, I'm going with another team that has relatively low odds, but I still think they hold a positive expected value. And I'm talking about the Astros money line here, which is around -160 right now, which is the same as 1.63 in decimal. And this play is rated 4 stars out of 5, so it was close from being viewed as a premium play. All right, let me tell you some arguments about this selection. Well, after 2 poor outings where he surrendered 8 and 6 runs, Luis Severino bounced back by posting a good performance against the Royals. In this game, he allowed just 1 run. However, let's not get overly excited because we're talking about facing the Royals, who score very few runs. And also, here is a fact that very few people have noticed and which is very important. In that game, Severino managed to get just 1 swinging strike out of 104 pitches, which is super concerning because it shows that he rarely baffles opposing hitters. And meanwhile, Framber Valdez has been very good for many seasons, and the 2025 season has not been any different. He's been super strong again. He produced a whopping 20 whiffs in his last outing 6 days ago. And also, the Athletics slugging percentage is abysmal against lefties. It sits at 291, which is very low. So I feel like Valdez has a strong shot of dominating his division rivals today. In fact, the more I talk about this game, the more I'm tempted to switch it to a 5-star play and make it a premium pick. Although I'm not a big fan of betting I'm not a big fan of betting such low odds, but like I said, I still believe there is good positive expected value right here, I think Houston should cruise in this match. All right, so I have a 7th and final pick for you, and it concerns the great rivalry between San Diego and the Dodgers. And in this match, I'm taking a pitcher prop bet. Emmet Sheehan, the LA starter, to record under 3.5 strikeouts. As you can see on your screen, with the screenshot that I am posting right now, the best current odds are around -106, which is the same as 1.94 in decimal. But some bookies have a line that's as low as -135, which in my opinion still provides a good bet, but of course the ROI is much smaller. Maybe you have a ROI around +1% at such odds. So Sheehan will make his season debut after recovering from Tommy John surgery that took place 13 months ago. Now he was pretty sharp over 4 outings in the minors, logging a 3.97 ERA, which is okay but not fantastic, but a great 0.97 whip stat. In fact, he has racked up 21 strikeouts over 11 and 1/3 innings, which is impressive. But MLB is a different animal than the minor leagues. Now, in his most recent start, he threw 63 pitches, so to me that's a sign that he will be operating with a workload restriction. In fact, based on this information, I feel like he will be on the mound for 3, maybe 4 innings, so that will make it difficult for him to rack up at least 4 punch-outs. So that's why I am betting under 3.5. So that's my 7th pick. So you have on your screen right now all 7 selections that I am making. Again, my favorite one is Byron Buxton from the Twins to score at least a run in his game against the Reds in Cincinnati. And I also like quite a bit the Tampa Bay Rays money line and the Astros money line. Those would be my 3 best bets of the day in baseball. So I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for watching my daily videos. If you were not there, then this channel would not exist. And it's always a pleasure to share my picks with you. And I love to read you, so why not post a comment? Let me know what are your favorite bets in MLB today. It's always interesting to read you. I'm Professor MJ from Quebec City in Canada, and I see you again on Friday. I will take Thursday off as always because I work on other stuff to grow the Professor MJ brand on Thursdays. But I will be super happy to see you again on Friday. Cheers, guys!